The fact is that Shook has done incredibly well with Evelynn so far. If you tally up some of his wins there, he's way into double figures in terms of the kills that he's pulled off from that one. Second ban will be Lulu. Pretty standard against Gambit. Don't want to let Alex have that.
Yeah, you know, it's actually something that we see a lot of targeted towards Alex. Yesterday, Froggen ran Lulu. He first picked it as well, if memory serves, and it was somewhat uninspiring. I think that the problem with Lulu now with the changes to the Lich Bane is just how long it takes for her to hit that power spike. She can no longer get to that power position with just an Athena's Holy Grail and a Lich Bane. She needs to get a Death Cap thrown in there as well. So that mid-game boost that you get from Lulu's is not quite as impactful anymore.
So what comes next? Nidalee taken away from Froggen. Stay with mid lane here in terms of bans as LeBlanc is removed from Gambit and Alexich. What is their second ban going to be? Their final ban as well.
So Kha'Zix is still available. You've still got the likes of Gragas up there as well. It's a difficult one to call. I would expect maybe a jungle ban, maybe force Shook into something that's a little less comfortable for him. We might see Lee Sin being played, as both Shook and Diamond have played Lee Sin this split and had pretty good moments actually for both of them. So we'll see, and at the end of the day, they decide not to ban anything. They're leaving it open. They're leaving more champions open.
And it's not the first time that we've actually seen Gambit do this. They have already once this season thrown away a ban. It's gonna give Kha'Zix over to Alliance, and I believe that was Wickd who was laughing in the background pretty loudly on seeing that. They're gonna get their hands on Kha'Zix, but this is not something that Gambit will do lightly. They've got plans.
So the thing is, you've got so many options. You can go Lucian Thresh, you can go Lee Sin, you can lock in Renekton now if they want to go for that safe pick where, you know, we've been seeing Wickd actually picking, you know, Trundle and Shyvana a lot. There's options here for Gambit. If we do see Caitlyn, I was looking at some stats. I think Genja had not played Caitlyn until this week.
Yeah.
For over 8 months in the LCS at the top tier level. So it's nice to see him adding the champion to his champion pool, and it's also a fairly safe champion. You can do well in lane. But now we need to see, do Alliance, what do they want to lock in? What mid lane are they going to go for? I'm almost expecting farm-heavy mid laners for both Froggen and Alex. Although Zed's up. Let me just throw that out there.
Zed is up there. We know that Alex plays it. We've seen Froggen venturing into Zed territory, and that was in their win against SK last week, where he actually ended 9-1-7. So we know that Froggen can pull it out, can do the business with the Zed. For now, though, it seems like Alliance are quite happy to settle and take the Lucian, and there is the Zed. They've still got 40 seconds, although they might change things up from that. As you mentioned, only the second time in a very long time that we're going to be seeing Genja playing Caitlyn.
I don't think the Zed will be locked in, and my reason for this is when we do interviews with Froggen and we discuss their particular champion picks, he almost always includes a discussion like, the magic damage in our team came from our jungler, that's why we played Evelynn. The physical damage from our team came from mid lane, that's why we played Zed. And noticing that Lucian's being hovered over with Kha'Zix as a jungle, I am expecting a ability power-based mid laner. Gragas is up, Ziggs is up, there are some picks from Orianna still there. Hell, Froggen could get his hands on Karthus if he felt it would work, because we know how much he likes that champion. He raves about it all the time.
And he is Ignite Flash, which he's told us before that's exactly how he likes to run his Karthus. In the end, though, it is going to be Lucian and Nami actually picked up here. We have already seen Nami earlier on in the season. In fact, the last time they played Nami was against Gambit.
So it's a safe pickup. I mean, she offers a whole lot to your team. You do have Sustain, you've got the bubble for CC. It's all skill shot dependent. And as it stands, Thresh and Caitlyn are, I don't want to say predictable, but you know, you see a lantern landing, you can throw the bubble down, you can knock them up. Alternatively, you can try catch Caitlyn out. I don't know if Alliance will be looking for a straight 2v2 because Thresh and Caitlyn are going to outpoke Lucian and Nami, and it's going to be up to Nyph to keep Tabzz healed up with that ebb and flow, try and keep him topped off as the lane progresses.
So next champions coming in, Ziggs for Alexich and Lee Sin in the jungle for Diamond. And we've seen Diamond, in fact, in the last game, they played it against Fnatic, 2-1-4, not the biggest of impacts. I mean, if you look at the only win that they've got this week is against Roccat. He finished 7-0-1 on Kha'Zix. He carried Gambit to that victory.
I completely agree with you. And I think if Diamond is on form, he can do incredible things with Lee Sin. But he needs to make sure he gets off to a good start. As it stands, Gambit have got a fairly well-rounded composition. The only thing they're really lacking right now is hard engage. In order to jump onto Alliance, they need to land a Death Sentence, they need to land a Sonic Wave, and they need to commit. But they do a very good poke. Gambit have got Ziggs, they have got Caitlyn. They can siege well, they can defend well. And as it stands, with Alliance's composition, they're going for an 90% attack damage based composition. Kha'Zix is 80, Shyvana's 80. Yes, there's some magic from a Burnout and a Dragon's Descent, but not that much to write off. For Alliance, they are going to be looking for for bursts to jump in there, blow somebody up with that Zed, with Shyvana and Kha'Zix to clean up, and then running the rest of the team down. Hoping that the tidal wave is going to be enough disruption to buy them the couple of precious seconds they need to assassinate someone.
And if this will see us bringing out the Trundle once again, get yourself just completely armor tanky, steal away some stats from your opponents and run right in the middle of the fights. Currently they're hovering over Vel'Koz. They've already got a support and a mid laner in there, so don't expect that Darien all of a sudden is going to play Vel'Koz. Immobile champions are not his thing. No,
Renekton and Trundle would probably be, options 1 and 2. We have seen Darien playing Ryze a whole bunch this week. I don't know if he wants to go Ryze into the double AD and the early aggression from Alliance, so probably going for the safe pick. And like I said, I think Gambit have got your de facto 2014 season composition. Lee Sin in the jungle, aggressive early game jungler, farm heavy AP mid laner with a safe duo lane of Caitlyn and Thresh. The only thing Gambit are lacking, as are Alliance on the same token, is a reliable hard engage. What I do like though is on the side of Gambit, I feel the composition is more well-rounded, and if they don't fall behind Zed, they can do pretty well. Ziggs is good wave control. Alliance are going to be looking to split push. Alliance are going to be looking to play the map, let Zed stay in one lane, let Shyvana stay in the other lane, and just try to keep Gambit guessing as to where they're going to be pushing.
So an important game here for both teams. Still a lot to be decided around this midpoint of the table and basically how everyone moves into these playoffs in the seedings. You guys, of course, have been voting on which teams will win today, so let's check in and see how this match tallies up. With 58% of the vote, Gambit holds a slight lead over Alliance. And, well, I think this is about as close to 50-50 as we've got for most of the season, and I think it's about right as well.
Yeah, super important game for both of these teams. This is Gambit's last match on Super Week. Alliance are currently 0-2, so Alliance are going to be looking to at least get a win on the board, get some confidence before they face the Copenhagen Wolves later today. And Alliance are still battling for second place. If Alliance get some wins together, they can challenge for second. On the other side of the coin, Gambit's best case scenario is third place. So there is quite a lot on the line. That's a first round bye for Alliance if stars align and all of these tiebreaker scenarios work in their favor.
Now, we do have people behind the scenes making sure that we get everything right when it comes to our math, because we're just rubbish at that. So thankfully, we've got
it's a 2,000 gold lead, 3,000 gold lead, 2,000 gold lead.
Exactly. Yeah. We've got some guys in the background helping us out with that one, so we'll keep you filled in as we go throughout the day as to what's going to be happening and how many, if any, tiebreakers will come after our regular games. But for now, we're in game Alliance versus Gambit. I'm going to ask about level 1 again, because our previous 2 games we have seen fights at level 1. The first game we did see blood there as well. Second one, close to seeing first blood, but no kills actually came down.
So both of these teams have actually got skills that could help you in level 1. If you go for the Aqua Prism from Nami, that is some very strong, reliable CC, and you do have pretty good damage from the rest of the team. On the other side of the coin, you've got a Death Sentence. What we do see from these level 1s, though, is they tend to be delayed. You don't often see teams going straight out the gate, rushing as 5 into a bush, and then, invading. We've seen from game 1 of the day, Millennium were just hiding out in this river until about 2 minutes when we seen J-Ree flash over the wall. So, as it stands, defensive starts. We see a lane swap coming up from Gambit already. They've thrown Caitlyn and Thresh to the top lane. When they beat Rocket, they did the same thing, and they did a hard push on the tower. Let's see if they try play the similar style. It's different champions, but they have the ability to play the same style. Get good poked out, get a good number of towers, and prevent Alliance from safely farming their lanes in the mid-game.
They've spotted Darien early here, though. For me, that could be a possible early mistake. We can see that Darien actually is now, is he going to be moving away? No. Do they want this 2v1? Are they happy with that one, Alliance? We'll find out, but they definitely saw Darien on this bottom side of the map. Hedward and Genja have now gone further into that brush, and even as Siobhan, you still need to be a little bit careful about how you go face-checking these brushes on the top of River.
Yeah, you know, she does have a flash available, and keep note that Wickd is running teleport, so that map presence is going to be there. We have seen Gambit doing the customary Gambit invade. When they do a lane swap, Edward and Genja will always check their opponent's blue bush. And when you look at other teams like Fnatic punish it better than anybody else. Edward has even joked in post-game interviews saying, yeah, we gave up first blood on our blue invade like we always do. And it's just something that as a team, Gambit are actually very predictable with. So they ended up going for they get some early vision. You'll notice that Shook is not on his blue. He's clearing out the Wraith camp, and there's some support now for Diamond as they steal away this objective.
There is a ward in that brush though, so we'll see Alliance having complete vision over this one, but that blue's going to go down far too quickly for them to do anything about it. The question now is, can Shook steal away the Gambit blue as well?
It's going to be a little bit... Well, it's kind of safer in some ways because Alliance, if they have any sort of engages, Tabzz and Nyph are closer to react. And for Darien and for Alex to respond, they're going to be giving up a lot of presence in that lane. So as it stands, it's completely uncontested. They're going to even out that invade. You'll notice that Diamond is still sticking around in Alliance's jungle. Finally decides to back away. Didn't see if he actually cleared that Wolf camp out. But at the end of the day, even it up. Trade steal one buff for steal one buff.
So, we see the push of these 2v1s. Nyph and Tabzz already getting a decent wave pushed on towards Darien's turret. Those bottom turrets,
they want to dive him.
Are a little bit easier to take down, and they are going to be jumping in from this one. That blue buff was with Shook. He jumps in, Darien flashes away, but lost more than half of his health. Now Diamond is coming back around. That'd still leave a 3-on-2. There's still a minion wave there as well behind them to protect them. They don't have to tank the turret or anything as they run back in.
Successful gank, managing to get the flash down. If an Aqua Prison lands on Darien, he is in kill threat. You'll notice Nyph is level 3, has got 1 point in each of his abilities. Let's see if they can land the CC. As it stands though, Alliance have made no attempt to go for the kill. They just want the objective. They want the tower.
And they're going to get it here, aren't they? There's 5 or so caster minions in there, and there is a turret going down. There's a bubble, and Diamond has to flash away from it.
Yeah, again, Diamond and Darien, I think they were maybe a little greedy with the XP. They stuck around for that tower as long as they could. 2 flashes burned. Early advantage to Alliance. If Shook and Froggen manage to catch anybody out, it'll play in their favor. We do see Wickd already returning with some potions as well as that cloth armor. But Gambit are doing a good job. This tower's below half hit points, and remember, it still has that damage reduction before 8 minutes.
They should be able to get rid of it in the next couple of waves. Tabzz, Shook, and Nyph continue the pressure on the bottom lane. They're going to be 3 men hammering away on that inner turret. Diamond continues to stick around just in case he can get involved.
Yeah, this is a risky defense for Darien and Diamond. Not only are they facing 3 members of Alliance, neither of them have their flashes. So if they make a misstep at all, there is the possibility to grab first blood. The one thing that is a little frustrating for Alliance, they don't have a ranged jungler, so defending the tower, taking the tower is going to be more difficult. Look at the damage on Wickd.
Yeah, there's a flayback, and we see the flash from Wickd. Had to use that one. If he'd have tried to run off, he would have gone down there. And Gambit continue to pressure this top side of the map. There's another wave now coming in with them, and it looks like actually they've been forced back on this bottom lane, finally. So Alliance going to be recalling from that one. They will lose their inner tower, though. Yeah,
so they're going to end up trading 1 tower for 1 tower as Genja decides to kill this one, denying all of the minions, I'm expecting, and really just trying to hurt Wickd as much as they can. Finally, it goes down. So both of the top laners have hit level 4 at this point in time. 11 CS to 12, and the war of attrition has not necessarily been worse for one team over the other. It is more difficult to take that top tower for Gambit because of the damage reduction. So you could argue who's going to come away with the advantage, but lanes are resetting, and now we're going to see the 2v2 as this Lucian Nami lane is going to be moving into place against Caitlyn and Thresh.
Lucian got himself Vamp Scepter, Boots of Speed, and a single Doran's Blade, and that's exactly what Genja has over on the other side. Between the supports, Coin for Nyph plus the Sightstone, all the way around for Edward. He has himself a Sightstone, actually picking up a pink ward just to join in with at this stage. And well, we thought Genja were going to, and Edward were going to go to that bottom lane. Actually, as it turns out, they've come mid here to go up against Froggen.
So we'll see how quickly they can take this tower down. There's no support from the rest of Gambit yet. Diamond as well as Alex were in the base. So, you know, we've seen when Gambit took apart Rockout with their siege comp, They had Caitlyn, they had Nidalee as well, and they did a very, very good job of making it work then. Diamond was playing Diamond was playing Ziggs. So yeah, that's how much I associate the champion with him. But as it stands, the support is coming in for Gambit, and they've definitely set their sights on this tower. Alliance responding, their dual lane's moving up.
Can't actually get in there for any more damage. Alex keeping them, Froggen keeping them at bay. And again, as
it's been a long week. It's been a long week.
It has. I mean, you know, the good thing is, EpicSkillshot, we're only just getting started here tonight, I think. But they continue that pressure. Alex has now joined in with them. Nyph has come over to offer a little bit of support as well, and they can clear those waves out pretty quickly. Top lane, Darien is actually putting quite a lot of pressure onto that inner turret, and we can now see that maybe the rest of the team will start to move in. But that Renekton level 6 to level 5 of Wicked Shyvana.
This is a very risky pressure because you'll notice the only ward coverage that Gambit have right now is at that sort of river junction towards the blue buff. So Darien is very overextended. He's trying to make use of the strength that Renekton has over Shyvana in the early game and finally backs away. It is only a trinket ward though, so it's not going to last the longest period of time. First blue buff was taken by Diamond and Gambit, and they're setting themselves up for a 3-man steal, but there's 4 members of Alliance close by. This is a little risky. They've got the blue buff, and Darien, can he get taken out?
Smited away is the blue. Will he escape this one? Lantern off to Edward. Hook comes out as well, but that didn't quite have the right trajectory, and Alliance lose out on their second blue buff in a row. Question for me now is, can Gambit protect their own blue buff as well?
I think that they can. Genja's already moved down to start pushing out that bottom wave. You notice that in that engage, Froggen was hesitant with his death mark. He didn't want to throw it on Darien's Renekton because it was a calculated risk. Dominus was up and available, so the likelihood of killing Darien was severely reduced. And you'll notice that because Gambit could stay as a nice tight unit and Genja had control of that bottom lane, it just allows them to secure their own blue buff. And we go back to this laning phase. Darien now has vision, had vision of the blue buff side of the jungle, and he's still going to stick around trying to pull pressure. The moment people move up to Darien, I'm expecting the rest of Gambit to go for Dragon, as they always do when Darien pulls pressure.
Really do that to come back. Do with that to come back in the gold here as well. Gambit just hovering around, warding that Tribush. The ward actually inside of the Dragon Pit from Alliance will in fact time out. And look at this, Diamond, is he going to get things started? He wards that Death Brush. And to be honest, if they did it now, they could take this Dragon without any problem.
This is actually quite smart because they have the advantage here. They have, you know, very good AoE. They've got good long-range poke. In order for Alliance to contest that Dragon, they have to all in. They have to throw Wickd in there with his Dragon's Descent. They want Shook and Froggen to be jumping in stealth and with his Death Mark. So quite smart play if they try to force it. Right now, though, they've jumped on Alex.
Oh, this could be real bad news. Death Mark goes down, Exhaust is in. Froggen actually, he's not going to go down. He went back to his Shadow, got the first blood with the pop of his Death Mark as well.
Yeah, so Alex almost gets the damage through. Doesn't manage to survive. He opted to go for Exhaust over Barrier. I don't think it would have made a big difference that time around. And that was a smart play by Shook. He was moving towards the Dragon Pit thanks to Diamond starting it off. And it was a very easy jump around, throw down the stealth, leap onto Alex's head, and they grab themselves the first kill of the game. That's exactly what Alliance are looking for.
And that stops any immediate pressure, at least around the Dragon area. Shook is going to soak up a bit of experience and gold on those middle turrets. And well,
it's a big wall.
He meant to do it.
It's a big wall.
Oh, Edward gonna throw out the hook, catches the fish. Has Genja got enough damage here? The play was good. Piltover lands. He does have the ace in the hole and he's got enough mana for it. Knows that Tabzz is probably just gonna step in front of that one if he tries.
Yeah, so Nyph putting himself in a body block position if that ace in the hole came down, and just a good hook from Edward. Didn't secure a kill now, but if you look at that lane presence, because of the Caitlyn Thresh, the range that they offer and the poke, they have a good sizable CS lead. Now, to be fair, there is a 10 or 12 CS here, so Tabzz is going to be hard pressed to secure all of them under the tower. Started himself off fairly well, but look at the damage that Genja and Edward are putting onto this bottom turret. They're trying to get this down as quickly as possible. I think if you go back to that Dragon play from earlier on, I almost feel like Gambit could have forced it. Gambit were in a position, they had more numbers in the Dragon Pit, and now Froggen's a little bit away. Alex isn't even with Diamond. Now they're going for the Dragon. You have to wonder, why did they stop earlier? What was the decision that prevented them securing it? Regardless, they grab it this time.
The longer it goes on, the more it's going to be worth anyway. So now is the first one of the game going over to Gambit, and it puts them 1,000 gold in the lead in the early stages. 1-1 in turrets, of course, of the exchange of top and bottom outer turrets earlier on in the match. If we look down some of the items now as well, Froggen got himself Brutalizer Cutlass. Obviously, Alex, a little bit less damage than you might associate with a Ziggs normally. Ended up going in there for that Seeker's arm guard here. He's, of course, going to be working towards these Zhonyas to stay safe from the Zed.
Yeah, I think it's a crucial item, not only that for Zed, but for Kha'Zix as well. Reduce the effectiveness of him getting those resets in team fights, and all of a sudden, you wait for Kha'Zix's ultimate to time out and then try to take him down. We've seen that Genja and Edward, they've backed away from that heavy pushing right now, even though Genja's picked up his BF sword. So we'll see how far they can push the lane down. And while all of this action's been going on the last sort of 3 or 4 minutes, Darien is just slowly pulling a little bit further ahead. He's got a tiny bit of vision in this blue buff, but nobody's even made an attempt to jump onto Renekton. He is quite hard to stick to. With Slice and Dice and Flash and Dominus, it is going to be quite a difficult task of taking him down. So for Aliance to do that, they've got to invest a lot of resources.
Yeah, Shook not really got the damage at this stage, I think, and he's still pretty squishy as well, and Darien's not the kind of guy who hesitates when he thinks he can turn around and have a good go at you. And here we see again the push into towards that blue buff area, and they're looking for complete control of that. Yeah,
they don't want to give Aliance any blue buff for Zed. Reduce the spam, reduce the wave clear that he's got, and also reduce his kill power on Alex. You know, Alex has come out of this laning phase. He's been killed once to a gank, he's got a CS lead, and he's sort of controlled Froggen, I think is the best way to put it. Froggen hasn't been roaming, he hasn't been moving around the map. Darien is keeping the presence in that top lane, and now all of a sudden Edward looks like he's going to get caught. Dodges the bubble though.
Oh, this could get messy. Nyph will throw out the tidal wave there. There's a dodge back from Diamond. The hook landed onto Shook as well, but there's nobody there. The fight just stops.
Yeah, Genja was farming on the bottom lane. Mega Inferno Bomb was available for Alex, but he decided to hold on to it. Nobody else from Gambit committed. Now, Alliance are trying to make a play for this blue buff. They have 4 members nearby, and remember, Wickd has got teleports available. Doesn't look like they're going to decide better of it and back away. Ace in the hole has been channeled.
Yeah, Shook actually popped his ultimate there, I think, to get rid of some of the damage from that one. Meanwhile, Wickd, surprise, surprise, continues to be bullied here in this top lane by Darien.
So again, if you just look at that blue buff area, part of the reason Alliance didn't go for the challenge, or they didn't try to take it, they have to commit everything. They have to go all in with Kha'Zix's ultimate, with Death Mark. They didn't have Tidal Wave. It had been used earlier when Nyph had been jumped on. So a large part of their team power wasn't there for them.
There's not a lot of damage, not a lot of vision down at this point either. As Froggen here turns around, going to put the Death Mark down. Exhaust is onto him. Has he done enough to kill Alex? No way. That Death Mark got nowhere near enough damage. Can he escape? One more auto attack should do it. The Flay comes in. Alex actually blasts to get the kill. And now Diamond in the middle is trying to get to his turret. The Colin will get the kill. Edward has hooked in Chuck.
But you don't want it.
No, you don't. You don't want to pull in the bug. And there is a heal from Nyph. Meanwhile, Darien comes out. He's bubbled under the tower. And he can't fight any longer.
That was a brilliant bubble from Nyph, preventing Darien from getting anywhere near Shook. So at the end of the day, they trade 1 kill for 1. I like the fact that Alex had a good timing on that exhaust. He managed to reduce all of the damage from Deathmark, and Froggen got a little bit baited in there. He went on to Alex as Edward came around the corner, and that was when Froggen realized, oh, I don't want to be here. While all of that action is going on, you'll notice that Genja is just about to secure that bottom turret. So finally, that sort of pushing from earlier pays off in favor of Gambit. The 2-1 up in towers, and Alliance are trying to even it out in this mid lane.
Mega Inferno Bomb only just caught onto the back end of Nyph there, and to be honest, didn't really do all that much damage. He's got that Athene's Unholy Grail now completed, has Alex. Froggen did just go down to the bottom lane to make sure that Genja doesn't continue to push on through. Both AD carries, if we look at them, similar items at this point. Bloodthirster was done for Tabzz, and, well, Genja's got the money for it, I'm sure, at this stage now. He's 138 to 115 CS ahead. Did have the money for it, but actually he picked up a Crit Cloak instead.
Well, we'll see if he can manage to get his Infinity Edge built up. Bloodthirst Infinity Edge is the standard itemization for Genja this week. We'll be keeping a blog up to date as to what the core items are, but you know what? It's working for him so far. He's a little bit ahead on CS. The 2 lanes that Genja has been in has secured the towers, and thanks to the fact that he's got that Caitlyn with her long range. She's now rotated to the mid lane and is now going to be trying to get control of this area of the map. We'll see if Tabzz just uses the culling to defend the tower. You know, right now, I think Gambit want to force a siege situation, force Alliance to respond because their champion's going to be much more powerful in that scenario.
Holding on nicely though. Tabzz will be thankful for that bit of time alone to get himself some farm back because Genja really has done what Genja does somehow so well. You see him almost disappear. You don't really see him on the screen for quite a while. Then he comes back and he's regained himself a CS lead. He's currently sat just under 20, and that's going to only increase now as he gets another wave pushed onto him by Froggen.
There is one very big concern for Gambit, and the concern is how do they deal with Froggen? Because Froggen already has a Blade of the Rune King, is working towards that Black Cleaver, there's very few people who can 1v1 him when he is busy split pushing. So with that in mind, we need to see how they're going to deal with it. As it stands, Froggen's thinking about this fight. He doesn't have the support of his team yet. They're going to get there very quickly, though, and it's too late. It's simply too late.
Dragon gone down, Aliance back away, and I almost want to disagree with you there. You know, Alex Ich is moving up to a Zhonya's Hourglass. Darien plays a Renekton, which we all know he builds Zhonya's Hourglass on as well. So he's going to have that going for him. Wickd meanwhile pushing this top lane. Again, we see the Mega Inferno bomb from Alex Ich being thrown up there just to clear out those minions. Wickd doesn't care, he'll farm between the towers. Here is Darien, and he will probably need that Zhonya's if he carries on like this. Deathmark is going to trigger. It's a lot of damage, but will he be able to dive away? Actually, Froggen decides not to chase.
Froggen, I don't really know why. He had vision of the rest of Gambit. You'll see Darien is running into enemy territory.
He hit the wrong button, surely.
Potentially, could have been. Could also be the fact that Darien is running towards him.
No, but now he's chasing him, so it doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure he hit the wrong button.
Yeah, we'll go with that one for now. Darien is most likely going to suicide. Doesn't give up the kill to Froggen. The rest of Gambit are now invading. Now, that was the example. Zed can kill Renekton now. We'll have to see how he deals with it. Blue buff secured by Shook. Pretty sure that was on Shook.
Yeah, it was. Shook took that one. And Wickd actually getting exhausted here, throwing a lot of damage his way. He's already decently tanky, though. Got that Sunfire cape in there, as does Darien on Renekton. So the two solo laners, the ones that are going to be getting beefy, well on their way to doing so.
So we've seen there, Froggen can already 1v1 Darien. Darien only has that Sunfire cape in his Ninja Tabzz. So it's not enough armor to deal with Froggen at the moment. If Darien eventually gets to the Randian's Omen and maybe Thornmail point, which we are expecting because there's no magic damage threat from Alliance, that's when things can turn in his favor. On the same token, once Alex gets his Hourglass, assuming he outplays with a satchel and a flash maybe, he can stay away from the rest of the auto attacks, and Genja needs a Quicksilver Sash. You know, they have options available to them, but they need the items to get there. So there is still a very big question that Gambit needs to answer. How do you control the split push? Notice, Wicked's in the top lane. We talked in the picks and bans how Siobhan and Zed, when Alliance play them, are super split pushers, and that's exactly what Alliance are trying to do to regain control of this game.
We see that Darien doesn't seem to be too worried about Froggen just dashing in towards him. He was a level behind, but he still does decent amounts of damage. I mean, he's Zed, after all. And once again has that death mark available. Look at Darien diving in there. That's because Diamond is actually coming, but here comes the TP. Death mark is down. Wickd gonna join in this party. The death mark doesn't quite get the finisher, and there is the kickback. Froggen won't be able to chase.
No, he won't, but Shook wants to. I think Shook used his ulti there. No, did not. Looked like he was coming in at a faster pace. Nevertheless, Darien gets away with his life. Diamond actually hesitated on the kickback to make sure that he hit Froggen. He lined the two champions up, knocked Froggen back in the air thanks to the Dragon's Rage kick, and that allows Darien to get away. I think Darien was trying to bait Diamond in, and they got the teleport. That is very important to note. So the next few minutes, Wicked will most likely try to stick closer to his teammates, I expect, because he needs to respond to the team by being closer, by running there with the burnout. So we'll see how he plays it. As it stands, he's currently split pushing.
Comes the hook, doesn't get Nyph, but the turret will go down. Oh no, I called that one a little bit too early. Only needed one more auto attack out of Alex Ich, and that one will surely go down with the next wave. Also got an update from Genja's build. Actually, forget that one because the tidal wave comes in. They've caught out Eddie. He's forced to flash away. Nyph actually went really, really low there as well. Darien only needs to step forward, hit that turret once, and that will be the third of the game. Can they get any more? Shook actually goes invisible there with a charge of his ult. ultimate, the Gambit look like they might want to keep pushing.
I really like the Gambit's decision to push on the tower. They knew the teleport was down from Wickd. They seen him pushing in that bottom lane. And because Wickd took so long to respond, Gambit were always going to be in an advantageous position. They also got a lot of good poke down. Now, thanks to the fact that their team comp is better at sieging, they're going to try and stick to this in a turret. A good culling will at least kill the minion wave, but at the end of the day, this is what Gambit's team comp wants to be doing. I don't know if they're going to stick around for the entire time. They're going to get some vision in the jungle, and we'll see. It looks like they want to just keep this one up. Alex has blue buff, so as long as he can spam those bouncing bombs out, advantage Gambit in this situation.
Froggen actually waiting off to the side here. Puts down a bit of poke on towards Diamond. And he's going to look to come in and, from that side area, have a better choice on who he wants to go for. I like the fact that Gambit are keeping Genja on the opposite side of the map. They've got Darien basically blocking the route for Zed as they hook in Wickd. He's not really the dragon that they want to be pulling into the middle of the team. But again, we see those bouncing bombs over and over and over from Alex Ich, causing them some problems.
The ever-present threat from Froggen, though, is being noted. You'll notice that Darien is sticking on the top half of this mid lane, trying to block the entrance from Froggen. Froggen was spamming away those shurikens from the side lane, and as Gambit backed away, he immediately used the time to get in cleanly. Now, you still see Wickd. He went to the bottom. Now he's going to make his way up to the jungle. Shyvanas want to engage from a side lane. They want to Dragon's Descent and, come in from a flank. But at this point in time, Gambit decided their power play is over, and it is because that blue buff wore off on Alex. He no longer had the mana regen or the cooldown, so he's backed away, going to spend some of his money and make his way back to this mid lane.
Moving forward, so I'm going to touch back on Genja now. Infinity Edge is done. Cutlass is now being complete, or it was already there a little while ago, but yeah, Infinity Edge Cutlass. So when I said he's got the money for his Bloodthirster, oh boy, was I wrong.
Now, I will say that while a Blade of the Ruined King, in addition to Infinity Edge, is not the best synergy, it actually isn't as bad on a champion like Kaiten, who is heavily auto-attack reliant, especially when you've got that front line of Shyvana that you want to burn through. So it's not all bad, not necessarily 100% ideal. So we'll see if he decides to go for Zephyr as his next item. I would prefer armor penetration or critical hit chance in either order. Right now, Dragon has respawned, so in order for Gambit to look for a team fight, they need poke to land. If Gambit do not deal enough poke damage to land, oh, Genja might die.
He's going to use his barrier here very, very early, far too early even. The Ignite is ticking away. Is he going to fall? No, survives just from that. I don't know why he used the barrier when he really did to block some of that extra damage from Froggen. As again, the Mega Inferno bomb comes across. They're going to save their turret.
So smart play by Froggen to at least try to pick up a kill, but it didn't garner them anything. Because Genja didn't go down, they now need to be careful. There's no death mark available. Gambit are going to pick up a dragon, uncontested, and the rest of Alliance may try get on that top inner turret. Froggen is pushing the wave as quickly as possible. They've stolen the red buff away. I don't see any wards being placed down other than on that red buff area. So Alliance, if they had more vision, they could have actually gotten a little bit more out of this, but they may be able to get this tower down. The rest of Gambit are responding, so this is going to be risky. This is a 4-on-4 situation.
Genja needs to step forward with him here, though.
4-on-5.
Yeah, this is bad news. This is real bad news, actually, for Alliance.
Wow.
Just turn it around. Edward gets blown to pieces. The bubble from Nyph doing work for them. And as I say bad news, I mean bad news and good news, obviously, for Alliance as they take down Edward. He was completely surprised by that.
If that didn't happen, that would have been terrible. There was actually 3 members of Alliance. I've completely forgot how to count. Froggen had backed away, so he wasn't with the team. He was recalling in the bushes. And the 3 members of Alliance were backing away with 5 members of Gambit surrounding them. But because Edward went down, all of a sudden the tables have turned, and now you've got to try going 1 by 1. So we do see a lot of damage applied to this mid turret, and Alliance, they're playing the map. This is what Alliance have to do. If they ever sit in a siege situation for prolonged periods of time, they can't handle it. Their comp doesn't have the ability to deal. So by rotating top, middle, bottom, trying to get pressure on the towers, that's their key to victory.
Another update from Genja's blog. He's got himself a Zeal now.
That's positive. It's positive. We won't judge it. We won't judge it. So we'll see where he decides to go with his build. Looking at some of the rest of the items, Randian's Omen being worked on by Darien. Is getting closer to that point. We see Wickd. He's picked himself up a Bilgewater Cutlass as well. So going to be getting some more attack speed. Shyvana's already a great split pusher with all of the AoE damage from a burnout. And with a Blade of the Ruined King, there's actual kill pressure on her against a champion like Caitlyn or Lee Sin if she can catch them one by one. So a couple of key items being built up.
Yeah, also on the other side as well, Trinity Force is done for Tabzz, and the Last Whisper was just picked up by Froggen as well, so he's going to be stalking for a few more kills, and Genja there will actually spot him thanks to that ward.
Look at the rest of Gambit. They're grouped in the middle, they're trying to siege.
And they've not got their AD carry with them right now, which might come back to hurt them, but Diamond is finally moving in there as well, and it's again all about that pressure from Alex. It's just lobbing in the damage from max range and trying to keep them zoned off the turret.
We need to keep a close eye on Alex with blue buff. The 2 times that Alex has had blue buff now in the 18 minutes plus zone, Gambit have grouped up in that mid lane and begun sieging. And we'll see if they back away the moment it ends. Now it's pretty logical. Mana spam gives you bombs for days plus the cooldown reduction. And because of the strength of their comp, they seem to be in a good position. But Alex is a little overextended.
Oh, he jumps away. There comes the wave, and Darien's the only one to surf it, but they're going to keep pushing out here. The culling comes through. Edward tries for a cheeky hook. That doesn't land, and the team's disengaged.
That is very important for Gambit. Knowing that the culling's not up means the wave clear is significantly reduced. In addition, it's over a minute before the tidal wave's going to become available. So if Gambit can make use of this window where those ultimates aren't there, they're in a good position. All of the pressure for wave clear is going to be on those arrows and keeping minions in a straight line, and it's working out for now. Piercing lights plus the shurikens, and they defend well, so kudos to Aliance.
Yeah, I think Alex Ich being that low was somewhat of a concern, knowing that Froggen is going to be there as well to help and just jump onto him and finish him off without any real problems. Genja, in the meantime, after being down in that bottom lane, actually pushed himself up into the jungle, and he's just going to farm out as much as he possibly can. 239 to the 225 CS of Tabzz. 0-0-0 right now. I mean, Gambit obviously only have the 1 kill either way, but he's not really been involved in terms of any pushes with the team. He's been the one that's often distracting someone else from Alliance when that comes around.
Until Genja picks up armor penetration, I do not believe he's going to have a very big impact in this game at all. You've got the makings of Arandians, you've got makings of Arandians and Wickd, plus Sunfire Cape. You've got Arandians Omen on Shook already. The 2 of them are going to be in his face so quickly and so often that Genja's going to need some healing and protection from the rest of his team. And if he can't burn through, you know, the 200-odd armor on both of those champions, he's going to be in an incredibly tough spot. Right now, though, Gambit a little bit split up. They've all over the place. Shook, Nyph, and Tabzz maybe fancy a shot. They've gone in.
They've gone in. Edward's going to be the target from this one. Diamond comes around. Shook actually will stealth off. There's a hook onto Shook. Froggen has dove down. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb. Did he use the Death Mark? He did use the Death Mark.
It almost killed Diamond, but it just wasn't enough damage. The culling shots were shredding him down on HP, and I think there was a very good Mega Inferno Bomb from Alex. Not only did it get rid of the minions that were sitting by the tower, it did damage to members of Alliance, so they needed to back away. Also props to Edward for landing a very important hook on Shook, preventing him from jumping in there and securing any kills.
And on the topic of armor and the fact that Genja's got nothing, not the workings of a Last Whisper or even that for now. He did exactly the same against Fnatic as the hook lands here again. There's a double bubble, and that means trouble as Shook dives in there. Is he going to survive it? Gambit have lost 1 man. Make that 2 here. That's 2 kills for just the 1 single one of Shook, and now they're going to chase further. Genja is so low. That turret is easy pickings here for Alliance.
Nyph has landed so many clutch bubbles this game already. Every time he does, somebody dies. It's not over yet. It's 4 members of Alliance. Grab the tower. Now Darien's in trouble. Tabzz can continue the pressure.
That was a lot of damage coming in. They've actually got a siege minion here as well. Darien trying to do as much damage as he can. There's the ace in the hole. He hits Wickd. He does literally nothing to him. And that will be 2 turrets plus the kills. Great play from Alliance.
Yes, very decisive. Alliance need to do that if they want to continue taking control of this game. They are now in the tower advantage. Not only do they have the lead, they've got better positioning for Dragon. Diamond, he's the one caught out. Can the bubble land?
Oh, Wickd in behind him here, and actually Diamond just dodges off. But it doesn't matter. We're going to see Froggen just diving straight in there. Diamond kicks him back. That's enough damage, though, with the Death Mark. Froggen now picking up another one, sitting at 2-on-1. They get the Dragon as well, and they increase their gold lead.
So Froggen doesn't mess up the combo that time around. It's not over yet, because now they found Gambit.
They're going in once again. Wickd dives to the back. Alex jumps away, but not not far enough. Wickd gets that one. Now they go to Edward. Shook is causing all kinds of problems for them, and that will be 3 more kills. Yeah, okay, we'll count Diamond in that one. 3 more kills with the Dragon, plus the kills earlier, and the 2 turrets. That was a massive swing.
Gambit were all over the place. If you go all the way back to the mid lane play, they got jumped on unsuspectingly, I think, by Alliance. Alliance caught them out, secured a bunch of kills. Then when Gambit were trying to defend their mid tower, get caught out again and out of position. And unfortunately for Gambit, their comp needs to be grouped. They need to be stuck together. They need to land poke. And if they are not poking down Alliance, Alliance has got so many tools to engage with. Zed can chase for days with his Living Shadows and his Deathmark. Kha'Zix is going to leap all over the place, and you're not going to outrun a Shyvana. Nope. So Gambit need to get better wards, and they cannot run the risk of getting caught out of position again, because you've seen how punishing it is. They've lost 2 towers, a dragon, and 4 or 5 kills in the last few minutes.
And especially not going to outrun a Shyvana, who just before that last fight finished the randoms and finished the Blade of the Ruin King. Froggen, though, might just find himself in trouble. Diamond actually missing there. Is Froggen going to start fighting him? Alex is just going to go low. They call it, strips him down. Tabzz on a rampage. Meanwhile, Froggen is being chased by 4. He's gone back onto Diamond. Can he get the finisher? No, he can't. Genja gets him down, but Alliance are pushing the turret.
Not only are they on their middle lane turret, you've got Wickd pushing the bottom turret. Froggen pulled 4 members of Gambit towards him. Gambit have no idea where they're meant to be right now. They've lost another turret, and Wickd should be able to get the bottom turret as well.
Well, not just Wickd, the rest of the team now start to move in. Diamond's going to be the single man from Gambit's side to try and come over and do anything about it. He can't do anything about it. Tabzz finishes it off. That's 9-3 in kills. Look at the gold now, 5,000 gold in the last 5 minutes. Alliance have really swung this one.
Just like that, Alliance completely arrest control of this game. They find crucial picks onto Gambit, and then Gambit string together numerous positional errors. They were chasing Froggen in the top lane with 4 members, and that's what we talked about earlier. Who is going to deal with Froggen? Who's going to hold him down? Because you need to invest so many resources into killing Froggen, it allows Alliance to get away with it elsewhere. Now Shook is battling with Darien. They're going to turn it back around.
This was possibly a little silly. There's another bubble landing onto Darien. He takes a lantern home, and well, Diamond could have just followed him with the safeguard if need be. Didn't need to in the end, though. And now Alliance settling, but Wickd just going to keep playing the Shyvana game.
Froggen is going to keep doing that play because nobody can deal with Froggen right now one-on-one. And even in 2-on-1 scenarios, there's actually a good chance that if it's anyone other than Darien and Diamond, they can kill him. Froggen is going to keep trying to draw resources towards him. Then when people react to either shut down Froggen, it's going to allow the rest of Alliance to make plays. Maybe go for Baron, maybe invade, get vision in the jungle, for example. As they're doing right now, it's actually Wickd split pushing, and 3 members of Alliance. That's very aggressive. They didn't have Froggen or Wickd with them, but teleport was available, and, well, tidal wave. It was good to look at. I don't really know what else I meant to say. Aggressive play, it didn't work. That's the summary.
Froggen did just finish off his Guardian Angel while the rest of his team were having a bit of fun there on the top side of that Gambit jungle, and that makes him even harder to stop. Even if you're drawn to him, you're going to have to kill him twice, hope that he doesn't finish one of you off in the process, and then you've got to calculate where the rest of the team's going to be. Again, Froggen is pushing up this top lane. Look at Wickd on the minimap there. He's already to the steps of the base here of Gambit. This 1-3-1 style that Alliance are going with, somehow Gambit are going to have to try and stop it.
They can't yet. That's the problem. I mean, because Froggen is so difficult to deal with, even though there are tools, there are ways to negate his Deathmark, it's going to take multiple people to do that. And as long as Alliance can keep this map control and keep forcing Gambit to react to them, they can just wait for the objective to present itself and then go for the kill. I do feel that if Alliance don't get a convincing number of kills, though, it's going to be quite difficult to break through the inhibitor turrets, because Gambit have got pretty good wave clear with Caitlyn, with Ziggs. And if they get caught up by a death sentence, then they will actually go down. But we'll see how they play it. As it stands, Alliance have got a little bit more time in this top lane. You'll notice 4 members are grouped up. Alex hasn't made a gesture just yet, now slowly responding, but you know, at the end of the day, Aliance are going to get caught on. Here's goes Darien.
Oh, he is so far away from the rest of the team. This is not good. Darien, oh, that was almost a cool flash. Failed flash, I'd call it, by the end of it. As there's the jump in. Alex going to use his Zonyas, but surely they can mop up the rest of them. Alex does go down. Did some damage on the way. There is Diamond, and Shook picks up another one. That's an ace for Alliance. And look at those spawn timers. 50 seconds across the board. They can win it.
And that is exactly what we said. In order for Alliance to get through the inhibitor turrets, they need to get a convincing team fight. They need to get multiple members of Gambit down, and they do it. All 5 of them, the on their inhibitor. I don't know if they can tank through these Nexus turrets. We'll have to see. It's a lot of time on the clock, and Wickd, actually, he's got so much armor. It looks like they're going for the win.
They're going to go for it. We've got 7 seconds until Edward comes back up. They're just splitting out the tanking of these turrets. Tabzz used his barrier in there as well. Edward's going to come flying out, lands the hook, but that doesn't matter. The Nexus goes down, and Alliance get back to winning ways just when it counts.
For the first time in Super Week, Alliance secure themselves a win. They are now 3-1 over Gambit over the course of the spring split. And it was hairy. It was hairy. I think Gambit definitely had a stronger early game, but some misplays were punished brutally by Alliance. And that allowed them to get back into the matchup and secure the win.
Overall performance there, top-notch from Alliance. I want to point out Wickd here, 4-0-4 with that Shyvana. Did brilliantly in the lane. I mean, if you look at his farm compared to that of Darien, 100 CS more Wickd had at this point of the game. Got himself that random wins, that Blade of the Week just before they had that big fight that completely swung the game around for them.
Yeah, I think, you know, the game plan from Alliance was very solid. They wanted to play the map. They wanted to split push. And they struggled to get it going, but then once they did, there was never any problems. And you also have to give praise to Nyph. The number of Aqua Prison stuns that led